British/Jamaican heavyweight contender Dillian Whyte will be headlining his own show at the O2 in London on June 3rd. His opponent is set to be announced tomorrow, so we can't yet say who it's going to be. I'll obviously do a video tomorrow when the opponent is announced. But one of the opponents who has thrown their name into the hat and would like to face Dillian Whyte on June 3rd is Gerald Washington. He recently lost in a WBC heavyweight title challenge against champion Deontay Wilder. I believe he was stopped in the 5th round in that fight. So he has challenged Dillian Whyte. I'm going to quote Gerald Washington directly. He's talking about the possibility of fighting Dillian Whyte. Washington said, "If it gets me to where I want to go, then I'm willing to do anything. I want a tough fight that will propel me back into a world title fight. That's my goal. That's very enticing. As long as it helps me to get back to where I want to be, I'm all for it. Dillian is a scrapper that likes to fight, and he's a great fighter. He's a tough guy that had a good fight with Anthony Joshua, but he's the same as me. We're learning on the job. I don't have all the amateur experience, so that's why training with Klitschko is so important. Right now, I want to improve my game and get better because I don't want to get back in the ring without anything. I want all my tools to be sharpened and ready to go." Those are the words of Gerald Washington. And as you heard there, in case you didn't already know, he's been in training camp with Vladimir Klitschko, helping Klitschko prepare for this Anthony Joshua fight. He's been sparring with Vladimir. How do you feel about Gerald Washington fighting Dillian Whyte? It might be the fight that gets signed tomorrow. I don't have the inside track on who Dillian Whyte is actually going to be fighting on June 3rd. But potentially it could be Gerald Washington. If it's not, if it is, whatever the case may be, would you like to see Dillian Whyte versus Gerald Washington? And if the fight took place, who do you think would win? For my money, Gerald Washington is not as tenacious as Dillian Whyte. In terms of punch resistance, I'm not sure who has the better punch resistance. Possibly Dillian Whyte. I mean, he took a hell of a lot of clean shots from Joshua before he eventually succumbed in the 7th round. So you have to figure that Dillian Whyte has got a pretty damn good chin. Not an iron jaw by any means, but a good chin. Gerald Washington, on the other hand, he got cracked by Deontay Wilder and he capitulated fairly quickly. That's not to say he's weak in the chin department at all, because Wilder is legitimately one of the best punchers in the heavyweight division and, of course, in all of boxing. But I would probably give Dillian Whyte the edge in terms of punch resistance and tenaciousness, if that's even a word. But I would also give, in my view, Gerald Washington the edge over Dillian Whyte in terms of boxing ability. In my view, he was outboxing Deontay Wilder up until he got stopped. A lot of people actually had him winning every single round up until he was stopped in the 5th. That's not to say Wilder has the best boxing skills, because I don't believe he does. His boxing skills are, they're decent, but against somebody of his own height and similar reach, etc., they're able to exploit a lot of the technical errors that Deontay Wilder makes. And that's what Washington was able to do. So that is what that is. But I would give Washington the technical edge in terms of boxing ability over Dillian Whyte. He's obviously the taller guy, so on and so forth. So I think it will be a very interesting fight. Definitely a fight I'd like to see. And it might be split down the middle in terms of who is picking Whyte and who's picking Gerald Washington. Let me know what you feel in the comment section below. Drop it all down there. It's happening. I'm out.